I wanna be the only one that could check you and still respect you. I would change for you, always make sure. I just wanna be your favorite. 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 Won't you let me be your favorite? Hey yo, I just wanna be your first go-to. Do you like a real one supposed to?
Alright, my sweetnesses, what's going on? It is obviously Kayla. Obviously. I mean, who else would it be on my channel but me? Today is day 4? 4? Is it 4? I don't know, girl. I'm just here. What's today? Today's Thursday? Yeah, it's day 4. This bug on my windshield. Oh, she's inside. Oh, no. No, dear. You've got to go. Scoot. Girl, I got to look at the road. I can't be looking at you. Get from here. It blew into the back seat. If she comes back up here, we'll let her go again. Or let her try to go again. But anywho, girl. Today is day 4, and today is favorites day. And it was very hard for me to narrow down like what favorites I wanted to talk about, because girl, I could go on and on. I could go on and on. My core, the things I love the most though are music and the movies. So I decided to give you my top 5 favorite albums and my top 5 favorite movies. Now the albums are going to be I was going to say a little more current, because I couldn't, if my mind would have delved into, going all the way back to Stevie and Aretha and Pat, like those, I would never have been able to narrow down the top 5. So I think all of these albums are the year 2000 and up. But anywho, let me get into that, because I'm rambling, child. My top 5 favorite albums are in no particular order, and they're not even really my top 5, like my top 5. They're just 5 albums that are really, really good. Because, girl, my top 5, I can't narrow it down to, like, my favorite albums. It's just impossible. So I just thought about 5 albums off the top of my head that I really, really enjoy and put those on a list for you. So number 1 would be Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. Brittany, I can't think of her last name. Her first name is Brittany, the lead singer of Alabama Shakes. Her voice is so unique. It's so different. It's so, like, something you ain't gonna hear nowhere else. Kind of like Lizzo. Why didn't I think of Lizzo? Well, she doesn't have an album out. She has EPs. But anyway, it's just very, like, you kind of almost wouldn't expect a black girl to be sounding like this and to be playing the guitar like this, but here she is. And then you have to remember that, these sounds and these riffs and, all of this actually came from black women. Sister Rosetta Tharpe and, Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith and all the girls created this sound and this look, and white people just took it. She brings you back to, like, oh yeah, this actually is our lane. This is our lane. She's exactly what she's supposed to be. She sounds exactly what she's supposed to sound like, because this was created by us. So Alabama Shakes really, they bless me, honey. Anyway, moving on. The next one is an album that I am almost certain that nobody on my subscription list has heard, except for a few little gay boys, probably around 20, 22, 23, and maybe a little younger. And this is Into the Rush by Allie and AJ. It's such a good album. Allie and AJ were actresses on Disney Channel when I was growing up. And girl, if you don't scoot these birds, honey, in the road. Yeah, they were actresses, and they did, Allie was on Phil of the Future. They did some movies together and all of that, and then they dropped their album. Now, me being, a fan of Disney and what they had to offer as far as music, Lizzie McGuire, Raven, Hannah Montana, and all of that, I was like, let me get Allie and AJ's album. Well, let my mama get me Allie and AJ's album. And she got it for me. And when I say I played that album for like 2 years straight, and every now and then I go into a mode and I play that album for some months. Like, it's so good. And it's something that you can play in front of your mama, your grandmama, and all of that. Ain't no cussing, ain't no sexual innuendo. We're Disney kids. But the album is music. Like, it's not, it's, no shade to the boys, but it's not like kiddish or anything. Like, it's good songs, good music. Anywho, child. Moving along. Number 3 is Frank by Amy Winehouse. The album is a work of art. Back to Black is good, but Frank is a work of art. And the reason I chose Frank over Back to Black is because Rehab is too mainstream for me. No shade. Rehab is cute. My mama likes it and all of that. And sometimes she gets on my nerves, you know, when we talk, and she's just like, no, no, no. And I'm like, okay, girl. All right. Cut it out. But, yeah, Rehab, Back to Black, it had a few more mainstream hits, which, I mean, that's how she got into the mainstream, so it's no shade to that. But Frank is good. It's just good. It's simply good. I mean, from beginning to the end, it is phenomenal. F Me Pumps, October Song, Take the Box is my cut. I used to break up with niggas just so that I could listen to Take the Box and, like, self-identify. Like, I just, honest to God, I would break up with people. I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this with you any longer. And then go into my room and then dun, dun. The neighbors were screaming, I don't have a key for downstairs. My throat is still trying it. So I punched up the buzzer, hoping you wouldn't be there. And now my head's hurting. You say I always get your own way. Yeah, the tonsillitis is trying it, but the point is, that song, child, is everything to me. Actually, if any of y'all are in charge of planning my funeral, make sure they play Take the Box as they put my casket into it. Can you imagine? They put my box in the ground and then Amy Winehouse talking about Take the Box. Child, do it. Somebody do it, please. I don't want to have a boring funeral. I want my funeral to be festive and a function. Child. But I want to be cremated. So have them cremate me and then put me in a lovely vase, honey, and then put my vase in a box and then put my box in the ground. But you got to sprinkle me somewhere first. I feel like it's customary once you're cremated to be sprinkled. So sprinkle me somewhere nice and then put me in a box, in a vase, and then put the vase in the box in the ground, and then play Take the Box as the box is going into the ground. That's what I want. It's final. It is so ordered. Gavel bang. Judge Lynn Tola. Let me move on, child. I'm doing too much. The next album is, honestly, it's a work of art. Truly, truly. It is a moment in this artist's, like, history where she broke out slightly. Now, she's broken out, like, 10 times by now, by 2018. But in particular, this album was a sign. The first album was a breakout. It's like, I'm no longer with this group. Let me put out this album. But it still sounded like the group's sound. It had a very group-sounding, production. The next album is the album I'm talking about, where she's like, okay, I'm no longer with the group, and I am now a solo artist, but also I'm acclaimed. I'm doing film work. And see, this album is the film work album, and that is B-Day by Beyonce. If you listen to each of Beyonce's albums, now I don't listen to the third one, honey, because I don't care about Beautiful Liars and Single Ladies and O's. But if you listen to each of Beyonce's albums, you can hear her breaking out every album. It's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm breaking out something new. And B-Day for me is like the official, okay, I'm everything. Like the whole album is like, yes, whatever, I'm Beyonce. Like that's the introduction to her being who she is today. I already told y'all that if I were Beyonce, I wouldn't introduce myself. I would just walk up and say yes. Just walk up and be like, I sure am. Nice to meet you. But B-Day is like, I don't know, honey. I could go on and on, but it's just from the very beginning, from the bass, hi-hat, 808, J. You ready? Let's go get it. Like from that moment, when Deja Vu comes on, it's like, oh, well, Beyonce, you're doing something. Let me go this way, because girl, I don't have the time. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine. That's actually where I don't have the time. Children, for everybody that's like, oh, that's slang. I don't have the time. It's funny. I say it all the time. I got it from Amy Winehouse in that song. I just use it for everything now, not for rehab. But yeah, I got that from Amy. Anyway, child. But yeah, B-Day is just like, it's a moment. It's like, okay, she just put out Dream Girls. Here go B-Day. And it's just, like, she's empowered. She was cute on Dangerously in Love, honey. It was herself and herself, girl. That's all she got in the end. But when you get over to B-Day, it's like, okay, I want you to know something. I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm. Like, she came out with, like, a presence that was, I don't know, it was the beginnings of Sasha Fierce. I'm gonna go, because you on my nerves. You're driving too slow for me. Yeah. So B-Day is a phenomenal album. Let me see here. The last of my 5 selections is Cadillactica by Big Crit. Big Crit, I love Big Crit. I love his voice. I'm very attracted to voices. He has a beautiful voice. Not like a singing voice. His singing voice will do. But his rapping voice is like, it's a strong, it's strong, girl. It's strong. Him and Slim Thug, those voices, child, are everything to me. But Cadillactica to me is Big Crit's greatest work. It's a beautiful body of work. His other albums, is, you know, this and that and cute and whatever. But Cadillactica, I mean, from the very beginning, when, you know, it's like, I have to create. I want to create. Why would you pull over in front of me? Why would you do this? I don't care that you're a proud parent of an honor roll student. You need to move. Driving slow in front of me. Pulled over to drive slow in front of me with your red steering wheel, thinking you're everything. You're not. But yes, Cadillactica, wonderful album. I feel like, and it's not a matter of him selling out, but his sound has changed throughout the years, and I like his older sound to his newer sound. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know. But anyway, child, let me move on because I'm doing a lot. Movies. Obviously, Dreamgirls. I turned my back and found myself out on the line. You could have warned me, but that would have been too kind. It would have been. I've been warning you for months to clean up your act. You've been late. You've been mean. Anyway, getting fat all the time. I skipped over the BS act because I try not to cuss. But anyway, girl, Dreamgirls changed me as a person. It made me who I am is today, child. It was like I went into the theater one child, and then I came out of the theater a whole separate child, like a whole different. It really, I don't know. It made me appreciate Diana Ross more because, you know, my parents are music gurus or whatever, and my mama took me into the theater, but on the way to the theater, she was saying, okay, so this is the story of Diana Ross and the Supremes. And I'm like, okay, Diana Ross and the Supremes. My grandmama loves the Supremes, honey. So, you know, I was familiar with Diana Ross and the Supremes. But it was just like, when I went into the theater, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is everything. Hold on. Let me rethink Diana Ross and the Supremes. Let me give it a look. And it really made me not only live for, obviously I was living for Beyonce anyway, which is why I begged my mama to take me to the movies, because she's like, that's not for children. It's not for young children. I think it was like PG-13 and I was like 11. But anyway, girl, yeah, it made me appreciate Beyonce more. It made me appreciate Jennifer Hudson to begin with. Y'all know Screamer for I love her, but she does too much for me at this point. But back in the Dreamgirls time, I was a big fan. It made me fall in love with Anika Noni Rose. There's nothing Anika Noni Rose could do that would make me stop loving her. And she's tried. She has tried. Anika gets on my nerves, but I have the biggest soft spot in my heart for Anika Noni Rose. What time is it, honey? You gonna just hit me. The nerve. Anyway, girl. Yeah, so Dreamgirls. I'm trying to get through this, honey, but you know I rambles. The next one I saw before I saw Dreamgirls. So I did have an appreciation for Diana. I just didn't have the same appreciation. This is The Wiz. And honestly, I was really, really trying to decide if I wanted to do The Wiz or if I wanted to do Lady Sings the Blues. I went ahead and picked The Wiz simply because you've got to be seeing green to show that your stuff's laid. If you're not seeing green, you better be wearing jade. You better be. Now, I understand that I'm wearing red. So obviously, I'll be wearing rubies on my yacht. Like, I picked The Wiz over Lady Sings the Blues simply because The Wiz has millions of moments that, you know, me and my friends, me and my sisters, like, mock and make fun. Like, anytime something's, like, going wrong or whatever, me and my little sister would be like, Lion, it's all right. I'm all right. Like, that scene where Lion was, honey, oh, let me end it all. Lion, settle down, son. Calm down. The whole movie, just the entirety of The Wiz is just a cinematic masterpiece. Quincy Jones, as aggravating as I find him, truly, honestly did that thing. And he, you know, he always does it as far as music, but he did that with The Wiz, child, and the production, the Emerald City alone. The Emerald City by itself could have been a movie. Like, just the entirety of the Emerald City. We didn't even have to see Miss One and the children and da-da-da-da-da. We didn't have to see all that, but we did have to be pointed towards The Wiz. He's the Wiz and he lives in Oz. Anyway, girl, The Wiz is phenomenal. I'm almost at work. I got to get through this. The next one is Rent. Now, again, this is another one that if you are not homosexual, a young homosexual or a white person, you may not have seen this one. There are a few black folks that have seen this movie, but it does not impact. I find that it doesn't impact black folks like it impacts. I don't know. Everybody in the movie, black folks, white folks, everybody in it. Anyway, Rent is phenomenal. It's everything I've ever needed. Last night I had a dream. I was walking through a desert called Zyberland. It was hot and I was thirsty, parched. Anyway, girl, y'all don't know. If you ain't seen the movie, you won't understand the reference, but it's a great movie and you need to see it. Let me speed on through these last two. The next one is The Fighting Temptations. Gotta give you all control. That is very tempting, but you got to take me home. I know you want my love. Call you when the time is right. Are you when I'm ready, but it won't be tonight. The Fighting Temptations. The main reason I love this movie, I went to see it obviously for Beyonce. And I had to suffer through Cuba Gooding Jr. to do so, but I did. And the reason I love this movie is simply Samuel L. Jackson's wife. I can't think of her name right now. Let me find it right quick. I'm late, but who cares? They only put me on the schedule 3 days this week, so who cares, truly? What's the man's name? Samuel L. Jackson. Girl, come on, load. I got things to do. Anyway, the reason I love the movie is because of her character and her character alone. LaTanya Richardson. LaTanya Richardson played Paulette. Is it Paulette or Paulina? I think it's Paulette because her brother's name was Paul and her name was Paulette. Either way, there's one particular line, and it's not the church bylaws because that's my second favorite line in the movie. Need I remind you of the church bylaws? But my favorite line in the movie is when Pastor told Darren, who is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, that he has to take on the choir. Paulette said, I was next in line to get the choir. I've been waiting years for Sally to die. God rest her soul. It takes me out every time. I've been waiting years for Sally to die. God rest her. Anyway, and my final movie is The Aristocats. How could you not love The Aristocats? I don't know why you ain't seen it if you ain't seen it, but it's a cinematic masterpiece. It is phenomenal. Ava Gabor plays the mother cat, and honestly, Ava Gabor has one of those voices that just wraps me in love. It's just, ooh. When she's talking to Muddy and Toulouse, I'll be like, oh, I love it. Yes. And on Green Acres, when she was talking to Oliver, I'll be like, yes. Anyway, child, let me go ahead to this job, honey, work these couple hours and come on out of here because I'm sick of them. Like, comment, subscribe, girl, and all the things the YouTubers say. And I will catch y'all in the next two videos because Empire and Star came back. So, peace.